what is going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to look at the energy of the 4-4 portal today. How exciting. I hope that you're doing well. Things have been a little hectic, right? Energetically, astrologically, and I'm really excited about this 4-4 portal because there's a lot happening in the astrology that really helps support us in ways that maybe we're not feeling so right now. And in light of that, I love to start off with some energy and energy cleansing. Really just kind of setting the intention to release any blocks, obstacles that we might be coming into, people, places, and things, or internal, right? Patterns, thoughts, beliefs, habits, etc. Places that we don't necessarily trust ourselves and we need a little bit more love, in those areas. This is also a really good time to set intention. If you have something going on in your life, you have questions that you want answered, etc., I'd really encourage you to give those to Spirit now so we can set the tone, set the vibe, and be open to receive. All right, let's get going. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is blocking the highest and best. Doubt, fear, insecurity, lack of worth, lack of value. Cleanse that energy. Help make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama. Amen. All right, so let's get into it. So I love this. As I was saying before, 4 in numerology, it is the sign, the energy of strength, of value, of stability, right? That concept of the 4 corners. And we really need that right now, especially as we're in Aries season. We're doing our best to empower ourselves, to believe, pursue the things that we hope for, we long for in our life, to break away from old habits, patterns, and things that no longer serve us, right? And, we can have a lot of determination, we can have a lot of drive and desire to do that, but support is like such a huge benefit. It really kind of helps us get over the hump, so to speak, cross the bridge from one side to the other. And the way the astrology is faring today on this 4-4 portal is catering towards that. Yes, it doesn't mean that we're gonna get this happy little gift and do none of the work type vibe. It's more about our own determination. Mars and Saturn are in conjunction in Pisces, as well as Venus and Neptune. So there's this energy of if we put time, thought, choices towards the things that might not feel comfortable, but we know we have to do for ourselves, it will be honored. And that Neptune and Venus conjunct really helps us with support, with compassion, empathy, not only for our own heart, but for those that we're dealing with as well. Pisces is this sign of being able to tap into our deepest potential in a very spiritual way, right? It's not just about what's happening in front of us. Yes, we have to take that into account. That's definitely that our Mars Aries energy that I was talking about. How can we ground it into our day-to-day and not lose sight of what we hope for and what we long for? But we also have to know what that is so that we can make choices accordingly, right? And sometimes that's like the hardest part. The Sun and Mercury are in Aries right now, and Mercury is in retrograde, so it's bringing up stuff that we haven't dealt with around our day-to-day communications, contracts, the way we show up in our relationships, in our dynamics with our day-to-day people, so to speak. And so we're finding this way to empower ourselves, right? Tune in, listen to what our heart wants, but then at the same time, like I said, find a way to bring it into our life. Right now, the South Node is in Libra. Libra governs partnership and relationship. And South Node is all about karmic patterns, like default mechanisms, right? Like maybe, I don't know, we don't want to work on it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to deal with it. So we'll like sweep it under the rug. That's definitely what the South Node represents. And we have to be really cautious of that because yes, it is about empowering ourselves, but we also need relationships in order to make that happen. If we're in a dynamic that isn't helping support us, we need to take a step back, look at it. Does this fit? Is this really what I want? Is this vibing in the same way with me? Or is this something that I just need to let go of? Is there a better option that is in front of me? All right. Oh, Black Moon Lilith. Okay, and she was the next one I was going to talk about. So, wild femininity. I do love Black Moon Lilith because she really does kind of let out our wild side. She's kind of bittersweet. I'm not going to lie because, sometimes if we're so rigid, so structured, we need that wildness, right? We need to kind of tap into the things that make life fun, reminding us of our passions, etc. Exactly how I was talking about before. But at the same time, we need to make sure that she's not taking us down a road that isn't really in alignment with what we want. She can be pretty tricky in her energy. And right now she's in Virgo. So that concept of staying balanced, staying grounded can be a little bit more difficult today or just lately. She's been in Virgo for a hot minute right now. So you might be feeling this, having a hard time taking care of yourself, getting rest, getting reprieve, feeling exhausted, getting sick, etc. All that stuff is our body's way to tell us to take a beat, relax, calm down, delegate some of our to-dos, our responsibilities, so we're not overwhelming ourselves. Because there is a lot going on. This is the opposition, right? So this is where tension and discord is created. Yes, there are positive things. There are good things, like that Venus in conjunction with Neptune. It brings a lot of really beautiful, loving energy into our life. But we always find resistance, right? We find the naysayers, the people that say one thing, do another, talk shit behind our back, whatever it may be for you. Obviously, these are collective readings, so just use your discernment. Take what fits and leave the rest behind. But there's also challenges, and actually, as I'm saying this, Saturn is in opposition to Black Moon Lilith. Saturn is what teaches us our lessons, how we can grow and evolve. And like I said, Black Moon Lilith is like the dangling of the carrot. It's the breadcrumbing energy. Are you going to, re-engage in this energy, or are you going to choose better things for yourself? And, doing the work is hard. It's never fun. We're getting double confirmation on that 6th house, work, routine. In this deck, it's also health and wellness. It's how we take care of ourselves in our daily routine. Ayurveda is a huge component of setting up how we can fluidly live our lives. So we're getting the activity, but we're also getting the rest, the restoration and nurture for our mind, body, and soul. So it's okay. I like this Cancer energy. Again, another water sign, and this helps us really feel into. Cancer rules the 4th house of home, family, nurture, stability. It's a feminine energy. And it's asking us to, again, really tune into what our heart wants. Yeah, it might be work. I think that that's the difficulty, right? In this modern world, we're very used to instant gratification, or something doesn't work, so we'll chuck it aside and we'll find the next best thing. And yeah, I think that makes sense to a certain capacity. We also need to be mindful that we're not throwing away good opportunities or being too fiery is what I'm hearing. Like making too quick of a decision, right? Like not necessarily listening or thinking things through or seeing things at a higher perspective. It's easy nowadays to get offended and drop it. And, you know, I mean, that's just the what is it, cancel culture or whatever? That's the culture nowadays, right? Not good, bad, right or wrong. It's just where we're at. And so as we adjust, as we find ways to navigate all these things, it's just that much more important that we honor our heart, our mind, and our soul. So there's some clarity coming in. This makes a lot of sense with that Mercury retrograde energy that I was talking about. Clarity, truth, understanding. I feel like you're seeing things in a different way, and it is flipping the script, and it's forcing you to make those changes that Saturn has been asking you to make. It's not easy, it's not comfortable is what I hear, because I feel like you've already done a lot of work, right? Like you're already putting a lot of time, energy, effort into things, and there's just a little bit more that came onto your plate. It can feel really overwhelming, right? In these spaces, I think it's best to just kind of streamline to the best of your ability, right? Delegate if you need to, tasks that don't really need your hands on them or in them. I don't know if that's a weird thing to say, but I said it. You know, giving yourself a little bit more balance, right? A little bit more honor. You don't have to do everything is what I'm hearing. Especially now, because there is a lot going on around you where nothing's happening actively. That's what I hear in some of the situations that we're dealing with, especially the more difficult ones. Nothing's really happening, right? But there is contemplation. It is kind of like the bubbling underneath the surface, so to speak, and really making sure that you are aligning with what you want in this process. Dealing with people, places, and things of the past that maybe haven't really honored you in the way that you hoped for, that you wanted. This is going to come back up. This is going to come around again with that Mercury in retrograde. Whether it happens during these next couple weeks that it is in retrograde or it's coming in the near future. Knight of Pentacles, it's a slow moving energy. So what I'm hearing is like you can feel it, you can sense it. You're trying to stay focused on what you have to do. But again, there is this element of exhaustion coming through with the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Wands. Because again, you've been holding it together. You've been holding all of this together. And not really, you know, what I do love about the Knight of Pentacles, he moves slow. It's a little annoying. No shade. I like to do everything pretty quickly, so that's my bias. But he takes his time. What I like about him is that his destination is assured, meaning he always gets to his goal. He always gets to the end point because he is very slow and methodical. In the real world, it's annoying because things take time, right? They don't happen overnight. You know, we often don't see the hard work, the labor of love that goes into making new choices, making a better world for ourselves, right? And you're seeing that. I think you're seeing, like what I'm hearing is it's like we're seeing the places that maybe we dropped the ball, especially as it relates to the past. 1414 is on the clock, right? So ways that you were trying to find strength, ways that you were trying to stabilize yourself, but not necessarily seeing or getting the change that you wanted. Because we have a lot of outside energies that are not contributing in the right way, or in the highest and best way is probably a better way to say it, right? People, places, and things can be very selfish. They block energy. There's resistance around this new beginning, resistance around wanting you to be successful, even, especially if you are walking away from relationships or cutting things off that didn't really serve you. I'm hearing that there's people, I feel like this is multiple, because I'm seeing multiple energies come through that want to reconnect with you, but they're not really sure how to do it, because some of this stuff has already been bastardized, for lack of a better word. Things have been thwarted, things have not worked out, things have been said, and it's making it really, like, I see you in this space of really working hard towards your determination, towards what you want to bring in. You're being very determined is what I should say. But at the same time, it's like you're not quite seeing that this Ace of Wands, this new beginning, new inspiration, blessing coming in. And that's what can feel like overly exhausting, right? Because again, it goes back to this block of communication. And what I'm hearing, especially with this Venus conjunct Neptune, it's like we can feel people's energy, especially people we've been in close relationship with. We can feel that a lot more easily. And it can be really destabilizing, especially if you are more in tune to the subtler energies, more sensitive to the things around you. You're feeling the resistance. You're feeling, I'm hearing it's like, I just want this to be done. I just want an end. I want closure. I want reprieve, etc. But again, this is being blocked. It's being blocked because people are still, trying to make the decision of whether they're going to come around, whether they're going to come back. They're contemplating on the relationship. They're contemplating how things have fared, what happened between you two. And it does feel a little bit overwhelming. And you're picking it all up with this Knight of Cups, or King of Cups energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's being able to tune into those subtler energies that I was talking about. And so it can feel really overwhelming. But again, I like that Venus conjunct Neptune because we have support. We have empathy and compassion. Like I said, not only for ourselves, but for what's going on around us. We know we don't want to make the same mistakes over again. And that's why we're feeling a lot of the feels. That's why even in our environment, they're really contemplating, right? Everybody has a different perspective. Everybody sees situations in a different way. And we're all working to do our best, even if someone is being more low vibey, even if they are attacking you or you feel like it's unjust, right? At the same time, we're all trying to figure out what is the best path to move forward. And so no one really wants to repeat mistakes. I think that goes without saying, but it's also very true, right? And kind of taking that into account, we need to connect with that subtler energy, our high priestess energy, from a space of power, right? It's one thing to know, to feel that connection, know what someone's thinking, feel what they're thinking, feel their energy towards you. It's another thing to use that information as your power, as your source of wisdom. Often we can feel things, but yet we still go forward, well, I'm going to say this, or I'm going to do this, or whatever it may be, right? For your own justice, for your own validation. I'm all about that, right? Do what you need to do to feel strong and stable for yourself. At the same time, there's also this value of when you know who and what you're dealing with and whether or not they're really going to honor you, support you, etc. That's where we need to, that's where we need to tap into the wisdom of the high priestess. Having the knowledge, rising above, being the better version of ourselves. It's not even being a better person to that person or situation. It's about being the best version of ourselves. standing in our integrity, in our morality, you know, and using wisdom accordingly, right? Yeah, and I think that there is some contemplation. We have been seeing this Hermit energy. The Hermit is ruled by Virgo and the 6th house as well. So it's basically Spirit saying to you, like, take time to really go within. Take time to really try to diffuse the emotion. I know that's like way easier said than done, right? The emotion feels good. It feels justified. At the same time, when we sit in that emotion, it's really hard to see things clearly. It's hard to honor our path moving forward when we're angry, when we're hurt, when we're upset by people, places, and things. It's all a process, and there are more options than what we give credit for, especially in situations that are a little bit more difficult. It's about finding what can really, honestly, truly be our abundance, where we can tap into that unlimited potential and not be afraid of it, right? And again, all this stuff is easier said than done. But Spirit's saying there is divine inspiration. There are ways to move forward. There are things that you're not seeing 100% that can be revealed, right? That can be brought to the surface. That's what the eclipse season is all about that we're in currently. It's finding new ways to approach things. And even in the things that are in front of us right now, it might not be our ideal, it might not be what we want, but it's preparation for what is to come. Yeah, maybe we're walking away from a relationship, a situation, but at the same time, there's still a way to do it where it's not, you know, a big bad fight or hurting each other, or again, tapping back into that High Priestess or Hermit energy of rising above. Honoring yourself first from the space of wisdom and integrity in order that you can, like, you know, move towards better these new beginnings. Giving yourself more options, not trapping yourself, not pigeon-toeing yourself into something that, you know, again, is just going to loop you back into the same cycle. Spirit wants you to actively navigate what's happening right now, but also continue to dream of the future and what those end goals are, or what you're aspiring towards. I never can read these, sorry. Waxing crescent. Yeah, so we're building up, and actually we're in the process. We have a new moon, or a full moon, excuse me, solar eclipse in a couple days on April 8th. So waxing crescent is really asking you to, again, reevaluate as you're building, as you're growing. It doesn't mean that you have to be a doormat. It doesn't mean that you have to accept something into your environment that doesn't fit for you. But it does mean that we have to learn how to, like, communicate and, excuse me, learn how to communicate better, work in better harmony partnerships with who and what we're dealing with. So I hope this helped. Happy 4/4. I think I'm going to try to do a spirit reading this evening, so definitely stay tuned if that's something you're interested in. Thank you if you've made it this far in the video. I hope you're doing well. I'm sending all the love and blessings your way. Thank you for the support to the channel. It means so much to my heart.